So on April 11th, 2021, Pastor Nisi and I laid out an exciting plan for the future of Agape Church, which included several people who are going to be joining our staff and others that were already on staff transitioning to new roles to best serve the vision of what God had given Agape Church for the year 2021 and beyond. It was our first Vision Sunday since coming out of 2020 and the COVID year and everything that we dealt with that. So it was a pretty exciting time in our church. This vision included the renovation of the historic J.C. Penney building, which the church has owned for many years now. The question was going to be answered that what were we going to do with this property? It was going to be a beautiful 500-seat auditorium that would then allow City Center, our current location, to be renovated and retrofitted so that Agape kids did not have to be on the second floor. They could come down to the ground floor. We were looking at putting in a kitchen. We were going to use the two facilities in tandem. They were going to be across the street, but going to function really as one facility. And people caught the vision and were so excited, and so were we. And within 30 days, over $40,000 had come in toward the project because of people's generosity, and we were rolling. Around the end of May, beginning of June, the bids for the project came in, and the price was $2.1 million to do the J.C. Penney building build out. I still just didn't have a peace about it. I was excited that we were moving forward, but still just kind of didn't feel like how come I didn't feel like I was totally all in. And so we started looking in deeper at the numbers, and we saw that it was going to take us $980,000 just to get that facility weather tight. That was just a roof, front and a back door, roughed in plumbing. They were going to have to tear out the floor and fill it in and re-pour it. The building was not going to be able to receive even an occupancy permit to be used as an open shell. The only way I can really describe it to you is I just had a holy unrest about the whole project. Not from a standpoint of the number, like God couldn't provide $2 million for us. The 12 years of Agape Church's history has been about God providing when there was no way, how he's always provided a way for us. And this was going to be no different. But I didn't have peace about the stewardship aspect. I didn't feel like it was the best use of $2.1 million for us and our future. I knew I was in trouble as far as from a leadership standpoint, from a visionary standpoint, is I started and I asked myself the question, if someone came in today, wrote the check for $2.1 million and said, hey, Pastor James, you have to use this for Agape to build something for themselves to serve a ministry purpose. Could I, as the leader, as the pastor, recommend to our board and then bring to our church that we would move ahead with that project? Was that the best use of those resources? And I came to a very clear conclusion. It was no, I couldn't do it. And Agape, I want to be clear, the reason that's there is it goes beyond just being a good steward. We always want to be a good steward of our resources. Always want to keep your trust when it comes to our finances. But that's motivated beyond just wanting to be a good steward. That's motivated in the fact that I love you and that we love you, and that this has been the adventure of our lifetime. That at 37 years old, when Niece and I were looking at, could we even do something like this? Did we have the energy? We thought we had one shot to come and do something amazing for God, and he opened up the door right here in Laurel, Mississippi. And so this has always been about our love for you as a church, our love for you as a faith community, our love of serving here, our love for this community. That love motivates every single action that we take. And we're grateful for this tremendous opportunity God's given us here at Agape. And with that, I just could not move forward with that project. And it left me really at a crisis of leadership. I didn't know what to do. We have money in the bank. We have a great relationship with a banking partner, with a financing partner, and yet no property to buy and no property that fit our needs and what I really wanted for us. I was at a loss. I mean, the contractors were asking if we're moving forward. The board was no pressure, but just kind of asking, hey, what's the latest? Different ones of you would even ask, hey, Pastor James, what's the update on how are we looking there? And I literally had nothing to say. And really, it left me at a crisis of leadership where I'm really beginning to almost like here, they're going to think you aren't a good leader. They're going to think you can't make up your mind. They're going to think, wait, I thought we were going here. What are we doing? How are we doing this? And we can't even move forward. Like I just could hear all of it. And really kind of when it got to where it was overwhelming, that's exactly when the Lord showed up. So the purchase of the new South Tire facility is a game changer for us as a church. And you're asking, so what's next and what are the details? Well, the new South Tire facility is almost 6 acres. It is 28,000 square feet of building space with a ton of outdoor space for parking and other things that we're going to look at. We see that as a future of our Agape Kids Ministry, our Sunday morning services, and our student ministry. Well, then what happens with this facility? We are staying at City Center as well. We will have 2 locations within our same city that will help us serve our purpose and mission of serving this community even better. City Center will again stay our location. It will still stay usable. We'll still have an auditorium here that we'll also be able to stream from, but it'll be the home for our 21 days of prayer and fasting. It'll be our home for different conferences, marriage conferences, together conferences, as well as men's and women's nights as well. It is definitely going to almost serve as kind of our chapel or smaller assembly space facility. It will also be the home of our administrative offices. We are finally going to finish this facility. So the upstairs will be renovated and our administrative offices will be located right here at City Center. And so we'll be in this facility every single day of the week, still keeping a presence right here in downtown Laurel. So that means, well, Pastor James, what does that mean happens to our Midtown facility? Midtown was definitely in the plan of God for us, and we were grateful for the opportunity to purchase it in 2017. We have renovated it, and it has gotten to a point where it is a tremendous asset that has increased in value. And so the board feels it is best at this time that we would sell that facility and use those funds that have now increased because of the value for greater kingdom purposes here at City Center, as well as a new South Tire facility. The board is also looking at the J.C. Penney building. Now that we have secured and really know where our future is, we really feel like that is no longer an asset that we need as well. Because that is increasing in value, we're also going to look at selling that. What does that look like for downtown movie night and the different things that you're talking about? We are still going to do downtown movie night. We are still going to do farmers market downtown Thursday. We still feel called to serve our community in that capacity. And we're coming up with some very creative ideas that I'm going to share with you in the future about how we're going to do that. And I'm telling you, buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be amazing. Now listen, this is not all. There's more to come, as you're going to have several of these movies that we're going to help to use to walk you through this process. So what you need to be doing right now, number one, be praying for the transitions, be praying for the sale of our properties, be praying for the plans as architects and contractors are coming together to put together a plan for our future, and then be seeking the Lord about what your role is in making it happen. It's my job to come up with vision, but your giving and your generosity sets the pace of that. And so prepare and already start to ask the Lord, what do you have for me? What's my role in contributing to this project? And together, Agape, with God's provision and his leading, we're going to do something amazing again for this community that totally reflects what God does and what he can do. We pray every single day that we ask the Lord to grant us success in such a way that people that are lost have to sit up and take notice, and that those people would know and understand that what they see is only possible by God's hand and by God's help. Let's position ourselves for another miracle as we move forward in our future.
We already declared the victory. Let the redeemed of the Lord tell the stories. By his grace we are walking testimony.